Now it's more on the money race right now. Incumbent candidate Eric Adams is raking in a massive $1.5 million in fundraising, with most of that reportedly coming after Mamdani's primary win at the end of June. Fox Business' Charlie Gasparino is here now to discuss this. Charlie, the money seems to be following Eric Adams. The polling seems to be following Andrew Cuomo. You just heard Jim Walden, who was our guest here in studio. He thinks he has a shot. What do you think? Where's the big money going and the business leaders going here as the anti-Mamdani representative?
Well, first off, I don't think Jim Walden has a shot, basically, because of a lot of reasons, including really no one knows who he is, Brian. I will say this. If you look at the top four candidates, Mamdani, and in this order, and it goes in this order, Mamdani, Cuomo, or Cuomo-Mamdani, either one, depending on the poll. Close three is Curtis Sliwa. Adams is number four. And that's the weird thing about the money race here, is that the money is going to Eric Adams, suggesting that the business community thinks he's the best candidate to win. And the polls are clearly not saying that, at least not now. Now, they may say that at some point, when you hit the airwaves with we start finding out who everybody starts hearing every day, just how crazy Mamdani has been over the years. If you do, you can do lots of opposition research on Andrew Cuomo. Curtis Sliwa has a long record, some of the controversial, some of the not. I mean, New Yorkers know him as the guy that protects him on the subway, by the way.
Right.
But if you focus on those two, you can see how it would switch the dynamic. But that's where we are right now. I mean, I find it unbelievable that Curtis Sliwa has a pathway to victory. I'm going to be writing about that in my New York Post column tomorrow. He's raised almost no money. I think that last reporting period you mentioned just now, that Adams took in $1.5 million, which means the business community is trying to get behind him. I think Curtis took in like $160,000.
Yeah, well,
I mean, that's like almost nothing.
Right. It's certainly something we're going to be watching. And speaking of the money, you are really dialed in to how business leaders in this city feel about this race. There was a big meeting here from Mamdani this week, meeting with some 150 business leaders through the Partnership for New York City, a powerful business advocacy group here. What was their takeaway from meeting Mamdani this week?
Unqualified. And by the way, a lot of business leaders, as I reported, bailed. They didn't show up. They boycotted it. They all had something else to do. Which makes me think that it's a scary phenomenon when Jamie Dimon, when Larry Fink, these are the people that run the big Wall Street firms. I mean, New York is the epicenter of finance, and they didn't go. And I know they all had excuses. Oh, one was out of town, the other one had earnings the next day. But still, I mean, you could zoom in for 5 minutes and listen to this guy and say something, and they had that opportunity and they didn't take it. Which makes me think that the banks and the real estate players that could go are looking at New York as a basket case, that even if Mamdani doesn't get elected, there's so many crazies, left-wing crazies in state government and in city government. This place they're going to keep diversifying out, number one. And number two, the people that did show up basically said it was a waste of time. I mean, in the sense that he didn't say anything they didn't know. He tried to rationalize some of his crazy talk about seizing property and globalizing the intifada, but they didn't learn much. It was really a waste of time. I mean, if this guy's going to be the mayor, he's going to be the mayor, and it's going to expedite businesses from leaving the city. There's just no doubt about that. I think one of the scary things about doing business in New York City, and New York State in particular, is the fact that it's a one-party state, and it's a one-party state that is energized by the far left. And I should point out that Mamdani sounds crazy now. I know, because we're talking about him. He's verbalized some crazy stuff. But if you look at his policies, they're they're close to the mainstream of the Democratic Party. Kamala Harris came out about price controls. That was the Democratic nominee for president in 2024. On groceries. So, it's in that ballpark. Say a lot about the MAGA base. The MAGA base politically is pretty centrist on so many issues. They want to stay out of wars. They want to close the border. I mean, that's not exactly a far right opinion.
And there's a million independents here in New York City who are going to be taking part in the general election. We'll see what happens.
That's another thing. That's where it gets.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.